Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with the Princess of Pentacles. This is like an energy that wants to reach its potential. You know, there's something inside of you that feels this could be the thing that can grow into just abundance, right? This is like we're looking at the old car and we're thinking it can be beautiful. You know, we're seeing the old house and we're thinking this has a lot of potential. You know. This is something into which we're putting our time, effort, energy, and or money that we feel like is really going to have a return on that investment. This is sort of a card that represents like the dead of winter, you know. It's cold, it's sterile, it's barren, it's empty, it's dry, right? But the verdant energy is down here beneath the surface. We know that with the right kind of energy put into it, this thing can be spectacular. This can be, well, this is the card that transforms into the Empress. It changes into the Empress energy, right? So this is something I think we're really putting in a lot of, maybe we're still thinking about this. Should I invest in this? Should I do this project? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe we think, well, if I devote some time to it, this could really be a really healthy, really, really good relationship, or a really good project, or a really good job, or a really good business, or whatever it is. Okay. So let's put this card into some context. Let's see what this is, what we're feeling, how we're thinking about it. We got that Empress energy. Oh boy, we got the High Priestess. High Priestess is leading us to our Empress. Okay, so we've got that intuition that's telling me, yeah, this is something that's going to become the Empress energy for you. See, the High Priestess is card number 2. What's card number 3? Empress. The High Priestess is always trying to lead you to your Empress life. The High Priestess is that intuition, that divine message, right? That voice in your head, that feeling in your gut, that twinkle in your eye that says, this is the one, this is the thing. I know this is going to work, right? So, are you trusting your intuition? Right. Here we have a 4 of Wands, a 6 of Wands, 7 of Cups, and we've got your superpower card. This is the sort of the human Taurus energy, right? It's one of your superpower cards. It is a fixed earth energy. It is the builder, right? So it's kind of like saying we're trusting our intuition about this potential, and here we are doing the work to manifest the potential. See, it doesn't, your best life isn't just going to appear. This is a reminder that something is going to take work. We're not just sit around and stare at the forest and expect the garden to grow, you know? So it's a reminder that, yes, things are going to take work. And we have our 7 of Cups with our 6 of Wands. There's going to be highs and lows, good times, bad times. Okay? I know you've had your share. But that is kind of that's par for the course. That's just the nature of nature. You know, let's put the rest of our cards out on the table here. I like this already. We have the Lust or Strength card. There's more strength, right? With a 9 of Wands, a 6 of Cups, and ooh, a Knight of Wands. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I was expecting maybe something else. But this, I think, is a great enthusiasm. Okay? Adaptability is key here. Okay? The Empress is sort of is going to be the end result of this. Now, maybe that'll be the mystery card. Let's select the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with big red ant right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. If at any point during this message you feel like you know what that card could be, put your prediction, Taurus, down in the comments. Let's trust this intuition. Let's listen to that still small voice inside. Let's listen to the message from Spirit, from your star, the message from God, Goddess, Deity, the message from True Self, Higher Self, Guardian Angel, Spirit Guides, or Ancestors. Wherever it comes from, this is the message that is speaking to you, saying, this is very, very good for you. This is going to be great. You got to put in the work to build it. But this is it. This is going to transform. And see, we're not waiting for luck. We're not waiting for something to just happen. Okay, we have to put in our fire energy like we see over here. So as we look around the room, we see, of course, the divine intuition, the high priestess, who is asking us to follow her. Okay, so it's kind of a passive thing. Let's accept this course of action. Let's allow ourselves to be drawn into this. Then we also have this lust or strength card, which is a powerful, active, assertive energy. So we have an active and passive polarity here, which I think is very important. It's our ability to feel like this is my magic. I am creating this, right? That it's up to me. Right, so there's a sense of responsibility, but really the strength card is a sense of our capabilities. That you feel strong enough that you are creating something. There's a passion here. But also realizing that we have to sort of kind of obey the laws of the universe a little bit, you know, that some events are beyond our control. Okay. That things will be revealed to us as we go. So it's kind of a passive acceptance of the course, right? Which is going to involve wins and losses, pleasure and pain, ups and downs. Life moves in cycles of highs and lows. And we've got to adapt to that. We've got to either accept them or we've got to assert ourselves to change things, right? There's a bit of a shadow side in the lust card here, the strength card. Because sometimes this is us feeling as if we are impervious to any other forces, that we are in control of the universe. Well, the High Priestess teaches us, kind of forces us to remember that we're not in control of everything. Right? We may feel this stature that we could just reach up and pluck a star out of the night sky and put it in our pocket. Right? But the High Priestess is reminding us that the universe can surprise us sometimes. The universe can give us these unexpected kind of tower moments. Things aren't going to go our way. We have to be okay with that. You know, we have to accept kind of fate, destiny, consequences, you know, that sort of thing. So we've got our two major arcana energy. We've got fire, 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 water, water. You don't have any air cards. Right? And we've got our earth. And the earth, this is what we're trying to do. Trying to see something that could be great and make it great. Do the work. That's it. That's the material world stuff. You see the opportunity and you seize the opportunity. Okay? Trusting our intuition that even if things feel like a Seven of Cups, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to get to work. I'm gonna suit up and I'm gonna show up. There's no swords cards, which tell me that we're kind of shutting up too. You know, we're not complaining, we're not lamenting, we're not questioning, doubting, we're not stressed out, we're not losing sleep, we're not trying to figure everything out, we're not stressed, we're not all twisted up over things. We're trusting the fortunes of the universe. trusting the hand of providence. You know, I think what we're doing is sort of creating luck. You know, we're attracting good fortune to us. We're saying, if I do the right things in the right way, if I accept the way the cookie may crumble sometimes, I'm going to create in this situation that Empress energy that I want. Okay? Some events are beyond your control. And that's where the High Priestess meets with that Seven of Cups and says, yes, some days aren't going to be that great. Some days you're going to feel stuck in the mud. Okay? Sometimes you just have to accept what life is sort of throwing at us, and still persist nonetheless. Okay. So that's kind of our Seven of Cups up here at the top. That we're very much aware that sometimes we're going to be stuck in the mud. Sometimes it's going to feel as if we don't know the way forward. But there's a secret in the Seven of Cups. It's the number 7, Venus, victory. It's this energy of triumph. It's saying, I know that even when there are bad days, even when I'm not feeling so good, even when I feel stuck emotionally, or I feel that the path is kind of blocked, I know that my attitude makes a difference. And I know that if I have this attitude of gratitude, if I have a confidence about me, if I have an acceptance and a love, if I have the right mindset, I can get through any challenge, and I can let this part of the cycle pass and be done, and we can get through it. It's the confidence to sort of believe that we can get through the challenges, and not feeling so broken by the challenges. It's like, oh, yeah, I know there's swamps out here. I know that there are storms on the ocean, and I'll probably find one eventually, or it'll find me, or whatever. And I'm going to devote my energy to getting through the storm rather than wasting my energy being angry at the storm. You know? Let's put that energy towards solving the problem rather than just lamenting the problem. Does that make sense? So we're reminded that there are things beyond our control that are going to happen, and the way we respond to those things are going to create a ripple effect in karma, right? Consequences. We've got the Four of Wands underneath everything here, which tells me that you are aware of the cycles. Okay, you're aware of the sort of karma. You're aware that energy that you release into the world is eventually going to find its way back to you. That there is going to be consequences. There's going to be a ripple effect to everything we do. Okay, and so I think we're understanding, like, we're understanding this sort of cyclic nature of life. And there will be ups and downs, and then we will have to go through periods of feeling stuck, periods of feeling like we're on top of the world. You know, it's the wheel kind of turns. This is a card of completion, so I think it is letting go of a lot of past things. It's kind of we're aware of the consequences of our past choices, right? How they affect the present. But if we keep those things alive, if we're still sort of lamenting the consequences that we're in because of our past choices, we're keeping those seeds of karma alive. But by letting things go, trusting the intuition, moving forward, we're sort of saying, okay, we're accepting it. That seed that I planted long ago has blossomed, has borne its fruit, and now I can be done with it. With an increase of knowledge and awareness, and an increase of my power to control the seeds of karma that I'm planting, right? This is the card of cycles. This is the card of kind of an ending of things, putting some things behind us, and just, to me, it feels like we're dealing with things as they come. And sometimes they're going to be really, really good. And when they're really, really good, yeah, we've got to let them go, just as much as we have to let the sort of negative things go. When we're stuck in the swamp, we deal with it, we let it go, we keep pushing forward. When we have a really big win, we have to celebrate the win and feel it and feel good about it, and then let it go too. Keep moving ahead. And the cycle kind of continues, okay? Our actions create those ripple effects. Yeah. Now, you have a Six of Wands in the background here. Okay. There's a lot of self-knowledge in the Six of Wands. It's a card of victory. It's a card of victory after struggle. It's a triumph after a trial. Yeah. And so to me, it really feels that we're realizing, we're coming to know ourselves more. We're stepping into our own power. I think that you've been through difficult things in your life. You know? Good times, bad times, right? And I think it's through the bad times, getting through them, right? Finding our strength and pushing forward, that we sort of gain in confidence, we gain in this personal, well, we grow, right? Personal growth and evolution, we become stronger. So I'm wondering if you've been through like, I don't know, maybe betrayals, other people, letdowns, disappointments in other people. We put our trust in others maybe, and we've been sort of reprimanded for doing that, you know? But through each of these trials that you've been involved in, each of these struggles, each of the, well, perhaps each of the Seven of Cups that we go through, right? Each of those things we go through is teaching us about ourselves, and we're growing into our own strength. Here's a strength and confidence. We have a lot of strength and confidence here, and a lot of cards here showing that. And how we build that is by going through situations that disappoint us, that are painful, that are difficult, that have that negative emotional charge to them. That makes us stronger. Okay, till we reach a point where we don't really need the external validation. We don't need anyone to be strong for us, that we are strong for ourselves. Right? So I feel like we go through a series of bad relationships. If we recognize what's taking place, then we become stronger to the point where we don't need those relationships. If I want them, I can have them, but I don't need them. So we kind of grow into this independence. Yeah? And I feel that that's partly what our Princess of Pentacles is. It's you growing. I know we're trying to grow our best life, but what if this is you, and this is your effort to continue building yourself? Right? Building your personality and your personal reality. Okay? How you respond to these situations determines your evolution, your personal growth through the cycles that we go through, the cycles of challenges and overcoming them, growing. Challenges, overcoming them, growing. That is the Four of Wands cycle that we're in. Okay? Okay, now we're going to talk about the Path of the Serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Readings are free. Sometimes the Lust or Strength card will resist change because it kind of feels like I'm already perfectly strong. I don't need anything, right? And so we have this kind of almost a defensive energy. This is almost an invincible energy. We're invulnerable to anything. And so it's kind of like we need to realize that as strong as we may feel, as passionate, as fired up as we feel, we're going to meet with Seven of Cups, and it's going to change us, and how we react to that is going to change us. This is an energy that sometimes when it meets with a challenge, it's so shocked by coming up to an obstacle that it doesn't even know what to do. It's angry at the fact that it's got an obstacle in front of it, and so it's a waste of energy. Again, rather than channeling that energy and overcoming the obstacle, right? The obstacle is the way to growth. The obstacle and facing our obstacles with strength and courage, but also with acceptance and humility, is a way that we attract more good fortune, more abundance and bounty and bliss into our lives. Okay. So this card, as a contrast to our High Priestess, is sort of asking the question, do we sometimes resist change? Do we sometimes struggle to surrender and trust the flow of life? Right? Are there any cycles, unresolved lessons, that we feel we're stuck in because of some kind of because of a refusal to address something. Yeah. Are we stuck in a cycle? Okay. Sometimes again, with this strength card, it's sometimes us saying, there's nothing wrong, I don't need to look at anything. I'm already evolved. I'm already powerful. You know, I'm already this magic has just come. I'm capable of everything. And we need that sort of confidence, yeah. But we also need to be humble enough. See, there's a fine line there between kind of pride and humility, you know, or arrogance and humility. It's when do we kind of cross over from pride into arrogance, you know? Because I think a true pride is that strength of character, that integrity that says, I am strong and capable. I acknowledge my power, but I'm also willing to acknowledge where there are some blockages, and I'm willing to say, okay, there's a challenge in life that I need to face, and I'll continue to grow in my power by completing those cycles and getting ready to face the next one. Okay. So I think you're taking action in that regard, and in your environment you have a strength. You have a 9 of Wands in the position of your relationships. Okay, I think you are an independent person. I think that you've been through challenging relationships in your life that have led you not to a resistance against people. You haven't become the hermit. You haven't become somebody who is just like, man, I'm done with people. You've grown into your own power. You've come to realize that you don't need to base your sense of worth, your value, or your confidence, or your well-being on what somebody else does. I can enter into a relationship with somebody. If they want to make a bunch of stupid choices, that's on them. You are still a rock. You know, you're still a confident and resolute being. Yeah. So it's sort of well, in a way, it's sort of being in the pressure cooker, you know, dealing with the cycles that life throws at it, dealing with the uncertainties of life, the ups and downs. It molds us. It is the pressure cooker. Maybe the mystery card is going to be the art or temperance card, right? It's kind of my card of being on the blacksmith's anvil. That in this sort of character development, there will be a lot of challenges. Those challenges are going to determine how upright and how strong, how much of a backbone we have, so that we can handle relationships. If they go bad, well, that's unfortunate. But I know that you're going to be okay, right? Because you've been through those things before. And rather than those past relationships making you weaker, I think they've made you stronger till you're this very independent person. Now, that kind of independence doesn't mean that we're rejecting relationships, or we're rejecting friendships or community. Okay, but that we stand tall in our own character, integrity, and decisions, and other people are going to do what they do. Yeah, I like this about you. I think that's very firm. You know, I think it's firm but flexible. Because we need that flexibility here as we're trying to navigate this particular development. Now, whether this is internal development or if it's sort of mirroring some kind of external development. And I think that very often this is something outside of us that we're working on. It's an external project. Okay, it's something we're trying to develop out here. But everything is alchemy. So what we're doing out here, the way we're trying to approach this external project, there's a mirror effect. It's happening inside of us at the same time. So when I talk about, this is personal spiritual development, it's also the development of this project outside of you, whatever you're working on. Stamp collection, a book, a library, building. You're trying to, you're trying to build a boat. I don't know what it is. Whatever you're doing in the external world, the process is being mirrored inside of you. Okay? And I think that we are dealing with and embracing the uncertainty of life. We're realizing what things are repeating for us and what challenges might be coming up again and again, so we can continue to learn and grow and develop through them. We're taking responsibility, but we're also understanding that a lot of what happens in life is beyond our control. Okay. Now, the Six of Cups is in the position of the position of the difficulty or the obstacle here, right? Sometimes the obstacle is just pleasure. Sometimes the obstacle is that, I just want to feel good about what I'm doing. So we may have a tendency to kind of ignore those things that don't feel so good. But these are the challenges that we have to address, right? And I think life is it's a process of trying to maintain the harmony and bounty and beauty and bliss, right, of the sixes. Because the seven is where things fell out of balance a little bit. This is perfect harmony. This is like, things went a little sour. That's okay. I will deal with that and I will learn. Every time things go sour, every time things get a little bit, every time they decay a little bit, we learn a little bit more about how to maintain their sort of perfect symmetry. We learn more about that balance, both internal and external. Okay, so we need relationships, and we need to learn from those relationships, whether it's with people, places, or things. We need to have friendships and romances and family relationships and acquaintances and work relationships. And it's through our relationships with the world, in the broader sense, the relationship between me and the universe. It's through that dynamic exchange of energy that I'm learning about life, learning who I am, and I'm growing and developing. It's the only way we grow is when we have some sort of interaction with something else. If we just exist by ourselves in a vacuum, there's no engagement with life, and there's nothing's taking place, nothing's happening. So that Princess of Pentacles will never grow into the Empress. Okay. So I feel like you're aligning yourself with this spiritual intuition, with the flow of life. I think you're trusting in divine timing. Okay, and I think you're realizing, because see the Four of Wands is kind of about human timing, right? It's kind of like we realize that our human timing, my sense of the timetable or the schedule or the timeline, is not really set in stone. If the divine timing is saying something different, I have to conform to that. I have to be flexible and I have to adjust to the divine timing and not say, well, my watch says it's not time yet. Spirit's saying, I don't care. Spirit's saying, well, my spiritual timepiece, maybe the mystery card will be the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. It could be. With the Knight of Wands here, this is fire on fire. This is a lot of enthusiasm. This is a lot of motivation, right? It's a really big leap of energy. And I think that we're aware of how motivation tends to be a cascading thing. It tends to sort of diminish it in intensity. The first jump is really high in motivation, then it's kind of like a bouncing ball, right? That just sort of fizzles out. We have to be aware of that and understand that when we're starting a project, it feels really good at the beginning. But then once we start meeting with challenges, both internal and external, we tend to get a little bit more demotivated, right? So what we're doing with the Knight of Wands here is we're setting our intention and we're managing our expectations. We are fired up, we're setting our intentions, but we're remaining open to how they manifest. We know some days will be good, some days will be bad, and if we understand that and manage that expectation, if we expect every day is going to be fun, every day is going to be just joy and reward and bliss and sunshine, we're going to be very disappointed when we get a rainy day, and then we're just going to slink down and we're not going to do our work, right? We're going to be bummed out and we're going to lose all motivation. So we're open to how our intentions may manifest here. Okay? I think we're breaking old patterns. I think that we have an intense energy, and we know that it's the consistency over the course of time that's going to lead to the best results here. Okay? We have to know when to act boldly and confidently, and when to, let's say, pause and reflect. Let's look at the mystery card. Probably the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe the Emperor. I mean, the Empress would be great, right? That'd be sweet. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that Wheel of Fortune. This is divine timing. This is saying, look, things are going to happen when they happen, and I just got to deal with it as they come. You know, if I'm expecting, well, oh no, today's the day. It's supposed to be all sunshine, and you know the weather report said sunshine, and here it is with rain. Am I just going to stand out in the rain and get mad? Or am I just going to get the umbrella and say, all right, well, I've got to continue on with my day? Or can I enjoy the rain? Can I find something to feel joyous about? Can I try to maintain an attitude of gratitude and love and joy and abundance even on a rainy day? That's kind of a third option, right? So we can dance in the rain, we can sing in the rain, or we can just get the umbrella and just kind of manage and go forward, and it'll be okay. I think you're embracing luck and serendipity. This is a message to pay attention to signs and symbols and synchronicities as they manifest in your life. Look for proof of presence. Okay, look for those events, those signs, those feelings, the twinkling of an eye. Look for the little whisper in your ear. Look for the bird chirping or the car horn honking, and look for validation, confirmation from the world around you, and use it as a sign from Spirit that is saying, yeah, this is right, this is good, everything's all good. You know, especially when we're in the Seven of Cups, we're in the challenging days, and you just feel a little gust of wind that blows by, and just like, you know, that's from Spirit. You know, I feel like there is some connection there for you and like thunderstorms. I feel like every time you think about a particular spiritual guide or ancestor, it's usually when there's like thunderstorms or something, and that's kind of how you know that they're there. Because I feel like you take a lot of symbols, a lot of meaning from the events of nature, especially the weather, right? And I think that maybe it'll be a rainy day, but you'll see one sunbeam that's going through the clouds, you know, and it just looks majestic. I think you take that as like confirmation from the other side that everything's going to be okay. You know, even it's a rainy day, but there's that beam of light. And so I think that you're identifying and you're paying attention to those kinds of proofs. To me, those are proofs of presence. Okay? I think that this is major change happening. I think that this is a development, internal and external, that is going to bear tremendous fruit for you. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Readings are free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.